Yep, easily one of the dirtiest shoes that I have.
Ginger Runner.
What is up, everybody? Ethan Newberry, the Ginger Runner, here for another Ginger Runner review. Very excited about today's review, but before we even get into it and introduce the product, I have an announcement. Registration for the third annual Ginger Runner Global Run is now officially open. You can go register for the event that's going to take place on October 7th. What is GRGR? It's actually pretty simple. On October 7th, 2018, runners from around the globe will choose when they want to run, where they want to run. It just has to be for 2 hours. They'll track their activity, they'll post it to the website, we'll collect all the data from all of the entries and give away big prizes. You can choose to try to run as many miles as you can in 2 hours, or maybe try to get as much elevation gain as you can in the time allotted. Maybe you want to spend those 2 hours and tag the highest peak around you. Basically, it's all up to you. There are some cool award categories, awesome prizes, and excellent swag. So that's it. That's my pitch. If you haven't registered, consider doing it. This is the third year in a row that we're doing it. It's an awesome worldwide event that brings Ginger Runner viewers together on one day to crush some miles and goals. So sign up! Okay, and now for today's review. From Hoka the EVO Mafate. I've had this shoe in rotation for a little bit now, and I had to push it up on my review list because I like it. I actually really like it. And I'm making cringe face because I did not expect to. Let me start by saying that this shoe was hyped to me as being the ultimate ultra running shoe. Elites kept winning races in this shoe. Jim Walmsley set a course record at Western States 100 in this shoe. Facebook kept throwing ads about the EVO Mafate at my face, and frankly, I didn't like it. It just became so much hype that my inner BS meter started to go off. I was like, I don't know if this shoe's gonna live up to all of this. Even when I opened the box and pulled the shoe out, I was like, ooh, man, it's heavy, it's clunky. I scoffed at the size, the thickness. I'd already been running a lot in the Hoka Torrent, which is a more reduced version, but that review will be coming soon. So this just seemed like too much shoe. Well, I ended up liking it. This shoe shreds the Pacific Northwest trails with ease. Tons of outsole grip, plenty of protection, lots of comfort, very similar to the Speedgoat 2s with a little bit more width in that forefoot, but different. In today's review, I want to tell you all the things that I like and dislike about the EVO Mafate. There's a bunch of both, leaning heavily towards the like category. So let's get on with that, shall we? Starting as always with things that I like. The midsole. This R-bound material is snappy. It manages to find that balance between cushioned and springy, something that I feel like I've been missing a lot in recent Hokas. I was expecting a stiff, joyless ride, but this is the first Hoka in a long time that's actually felt like I've had mini trampolines under my feet. In a good way. So the midsole gets a thumbs up. Durability. Now I've heard reports that people have had major issues with outsole failures, even some seams and welds up on the upper, failing completely, causing issues. These are all things that I've been frustrated with Hoka in the past, but with nearly 140 miles in this shoe, I can't find any holes or breakdowns of any of the materials to this point. Full disclosure, that's rare for me in a Hoka. I'm actually really excited about it. I don't know if they've changed something, maybe some of their ingredients to the recipe. You would be surprised at how many Hokas I have in this house with little holes where the pinky toes are. It's nice to see I have one pair that doesn't have that. And finally, grip. One thing I really love about the EVO Mafates is the Vibram outsole that has 5mm lugs. These things are dynamite for shredding trails, whether dry, wet, sloppy, doesn't matter. Technical trails, also really, really nice. I'm also glad that those lugs aren't super dense. There's a lot of shoes that have that really dense rubber on the outsole. The Vibram is a softness here that finds that balance between comfort and grip. As far as wear is concerned, they're all holding up really well. So thank you, lugs, for giving me joy. It's not all bubblegum and tater tots. There are a couple of things that I dislike about the EVO Mafate. Let's get to those now. Narrow. It's a Hoka. It's almost a given. The shoe fits narrow. Less so through the midfoot and more so through the toes. It's not quite as narrow as the Speedgoat or on the roadside the Clifton. I've just had a lot of issues with those shoes just being a little too narrow, but where I really begin to feel it is up here in the pointed toe area, especially with the insole not meeting up with the seams quite perfectly. You're going to get a little bit of toe overhang, which does lead to hot spots and other sorts of chafing issues. So be wary of that. If you are looking for a shoe that has a wider fit, you may want to try these on first. My little toes don't have a lot of elbow room. The upper mesh. This upper material, what they call matrix, is actually pretty dense, pretty harsh, doesn't really want to fully break in, and ultimately it gets really hot. Especially right now, it's super hot up here in the Pacific Northwest. My most recent runs have just left the shoe soaking. A lot of heat just gets trapped up there, trapped in the shoe, and you can tell just by the amount of dirt that's soaked into this material because of all the moisture that the shoe is unable to get rid of and actually retains inside the shoe. It's been a long time since I've had a squishy shoe shoe due to sweat. Got it here. And yes, I know that's gross. And finally, my biggest gripe is price. $170 for this pair of shoes. I like anytime a shoe gets over $130, I start to wonder what are the benefits. In this case, the shoe is holding up well and it's great for trail running, but at $170, that's expensive. Kids' education or a pair of shoes. Car payment, pair of shoes. Health insurance, pair of shoes. 323 maple bars or a pair of shoes. You get what I'm saying. It's a lot of money. But that is actually pretty much it for dislikes. Overall, I am leaning heavily towards the like category in this shoe. It's just given me a lot of joy on the trails, far more than what I expected. I honestly didn't want to bite into the hype. I think it's good. It makes me happy. I also will not be breaking any course records at Western States in this shoe. Just because someone else did doesn't mean you're gonna when you put the shoe on, but it is an enjoyable ride. So let's dig a little bit deeper. Here are my conclusions about the EVO Mafate. As far as build quality is concerned, I'm actually really pleased with it. The outsole is actually wearing pretty good. I'm not getting any of the lugs worn down. The upper is actually holding up pretty well. Aside from soaking up all the dirt, it's not fraying. There's no seam splitting. There's no welded overlays coming undone. Everything is actually still pretty good. Comfort. This is where the shoe really excels. I think it's a super comfortable Hoka. If you're running long distances on the trails, you're gonna love it. It's gonna be that fit through the midfoot and more towards the toes. If you're not looking for a narrow shoe, you're just gonna wanna feel that out, see if it works for you. Price, $170. Again, it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. And finally, looks. Obviously very subjective. I am actually getting used to this blue and yellow. I was kind of wondering, what's Hoka doing? All their shoes are becoming this blue and yellow sort of thing. I guess it's some new branding initiative that they're doing. I would love to see this come in another color version. I think this is fine, but I'd love to see it in another splash of color. So bottom line, is the EVO Mafate a buy, try, or a why? This is a solid buy. If you've got the funds, consider dropping them on this shoe. I am loving it so far, giving me all that I need and more. But again, it's if you got the cash. So that is it, my friends. If you want to find out more information or get a pair of the EVO Mafates for yourself, I have links in the description that will take you over to Running Warehouse. Of course, that supports the channel, so consider that if you haven't. And I am now throwing it to you. Have you run in the EVO Mafate? If so, what do you think of it? Let me know in the comments of this video. Do you like it? Do you hate it? Is it your favorite? Is it your least favorite? You know what to do. Otherwise, that is it for today's review. I hope you like it. If you did, make sure you like, favorite, and subscribe to this channel. Also, click the little bell for the subscription so you get the notifications every time we upload a new video, whether it's a review, film, live show, whatever. And follow across social media. That's where you'll be able to get all the updates about all upcoming events, product releases, review, all that stuff. You guys, it's right there. If you want to help support the channel, keep us alive, keeping the mics hot and the lights on, that's not how that works. Consider patreon.com/thegingerrunner for as little as $1 a month. There's also coupon codes, depending on your level, for GRGR. So get some money back, register for that event. Just do it. Hope you're getting out there, training hard, racing harder, and partying the hardest. I know I am. You guys are the best. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.